So welcome everyone. Thank you so much for coming on this beautiful, sunny and sweltering day to talk about solar. I want to first introduce Michael Livingston. He's the head of school of the Sharon Academy, which has done some really great work to be sustainable, and we're excited to bring that work into the larger Upper Valley. So,
thank you. Well, the Sharon Academy is delighted to host today's event. As a school working with adolescents, we're keenly aware of their concern for our planet's future. Any efforts that we make on their behalf to ensure a more viable future are of tremendous importance to them. They're looking to our words and, more importantly, to our deeds as a signal that we understand and take seriously their concerns. To that end, we welcome partnerships that promote energy independence. The solar panels on the gym roof behind me are a good example. They were the result of a student-led initiative that was part of an energy course taught here at the Sharon Academy. The panels were installed by Grow Solar and funded in part by Maverick Lloyd Foundation, the Rudix Chartered Foundation, and in-kind donations by Grow Solar and Tom Root, a local electrician. The two installations took place over a 2-year period from 2006 to 2008. And were a great student-led initiative. So we'd love to welcome SunCommon to the Upper Valley and to the Sharon Academy, and we're wishing you all the best. Thank you.
So next, let's officially welcome SunCommon with Dwayne Peterson. He's our co-founder and co-president, and we'll speak about what we're working on.
Wonderful. Thank you. At SunCommon, we believe that everyone has the right to a healthy environment and a safer world. So we launched this business 2 years ago with the belief that everyone should have access to clean, safe, renewable energy. And so we set about tearing down the barriers that had made going solar so difficult for Vermonters. We worked out financial offerings with local credit unions and national energy lenders that make it possible for us to install solar for no upfront cost and a monthly payment that looks a lot like people's utility bills. So for the first time, we install solar for free with a monthly payment that allows Vermonters to save real money. Additionally, we take care of all the details. We picked out the highest quality panels available in the world. We handle all the permits and the incentive paperwork. We have trained union electricians on every rooftop job and a 40-person team back in the office who works every day to make solar not just easy, but a joyful experience. Solar provides a tremendous opportunity to repower our state with clean, safe, renewable energy. At SunCommon, we know that energy from the sun can power our homes and our businesses, but now the sun can also heat our homes and fuel our cars. SunCommon has launched a solar home heating and cooling program where homeowners can use the sun to heat their homes, offsetting fuel oil and propane, the dirtiest, most dangerous, most expensive fuels, instead with sunshine. Oh, and save thousands of dollars every year by doing the right thing. We're working one community at a time to repower our state. We originally launched just a little over 2 years ago in Chittenden and Washington counties. And then homeowners and citizens and community groups asked us to come bring this opportunity to their communities. So we expanded into Addison County, and then next up into Franklin and Grand Isle, and over to Lamoille. When we started a little over 2 years ago, there were 1,500 solar systems built in the state of Vermont over the prior decade. And in a little over 2 years, we've added 1,000. So we think we're onto something, and we're having a ball doing this. For example, in Milton, we've multiplied the number of solar installations there 5-fold in 2 years. In Waterbury, we helped double their solar capacity in their first celebratory solar year. And then the next year, we doubled it again. The Upper Valley already has significant solar going on here. There's still tremendous work ahead. It's our state's official policy to get 90% of all of our energy from clean, safe, renewable sources by the year 2050. So there's a lot of work to do, and we're happy to be part of it. SunCommon is one of the state's first benefit corporations, so we are legally bound to our mission. We do this to benefit our state, our people, our natural setting. While our core work is to dramatically increase the adoption of solar energy, each business decision is an opportunity to reflect our values. So we're happy to be partnering with over 70 other local Vermont businesses who share our values, who support this mission, from printers to graphic designers, attorneys, accountants, car dealers. The almost 1,000 solar systems we've helped build in Vermont have generated $25 million in economic activity. So we're excited to be doing our bit to help support our neighbors in Vermont. So SunCommon is thrilled to be expanding into this corner of the state to work with local partners in Orange and Windsor counties and dramatically increase the use of solar to power our homes, to heat our homes, and to fuel our cars. I add, that's a Chevy Volt. That's an electric car that we fuel off solar panels. Electricity turns out to be really cheap fuel to power your car, incidentally. So, many thanks to those gathered here. I'm excited to meet you, and I'm excited to work with you over the coming months when SunCommon can do our bit to help folks go solar here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dwayne. Now I'd like to introduce Paul Haskell. He's the chair of the Sharon Select Board.
Well, if there's any doubt about the power of the sun, we're standing out here on a cloudy day, and I think we're all well aware that the sun is doing an enormous amount, bringing a lot of energy to this event and to these communities. So I'd like to start with a few simple comments, sort of a little of the underlying thinking that has actually happened within the Sharon Select Board and within our Sharon Energy Committee, our Town Energy Committee, thinking about drawing our energy from the sun, and then to bring those comments down to a little description of our community's commitment to renewable power and solar in particular. We like to start by looking at this from a sort of macro systems view, and to do that, we want to upcycle the question. Not from how can we just create alternative sources for the energy needs that we imagine now, but really to one that says, in a universe with a virtually limitless source of energy of the type we're experiencing here today, how can we use that tremendous power to change in a very real and palpable way our impact as human beings on this planet? So how will we begin thinking about, and shouldn't we be thinking about, the surplus, not just the current, but the surplus of all of this energy that could be put to some fairly important and meaningful change. In other words, beyond just thinking about how we heat our homes, how we power our iPads, the fundamental question is, how else do we harness this magnificent resource? There are significant and promising developments in terms of the use of solar energy to produce food in an alternative agricultural system that are very promising and very interesting to look at. And as Dwayne mentioned, there's a tremendous potential in terms of changing in a very profound way how we move ourselves from place to place on the planet using solar power. With those kind of thoughts in mind, it really encourages to think about the imperative of moving quickly and in a wholesale fashion toward changing our energy sources from fossil fuel capital to current solar income. It's the same thing that our financial advisors tell us, don't be spending down your 401k, try to make it come out of your current income, out of the income that's being produced from your wealth, our financial wealth, our natural wealth. So, viewed in that context, our global needs and our local needs, want us to be thinking about how to maximize our full participation in solar in solar technology, and really view all that's happened as dynamic and as exciting as what we have now, whether it's behind us or elsewhere here in Vermont in terms of solar. That we need to understand that we are just now in our very infancy in terms of capturing that resource. So that's why, with the leadership of our select board, our town's energy committee, we've really committed ourselves to leading this community's conversion from fossil fuel to renewable sources as quickly and as effectively as we can. Some of you may know, I heard this on Vermont Public Radio, so it must be true. Sharon has more solar generating capacity per capita than any community in North America. Led the way with what is now a 2.8 megawatt solar array, appropriately located in the old Mudgett farm in our Commerce Park. We're now farming solar in a really interesting and exciting way, as well as dozens of homeowners who've put solar on their roof. The Sharon Academy, who has solar now and will participate with us, our school district, and the town in an array that meet all of our electrical and energy generation needs. We hope in the very near future. We're looking at bringing roughly a 200 kilowatt array, combining the resources of those three anchor institutions. And that's, I think, a really exciting thing. It's taken a bit longer to get there than we had hoped, but we're going to get there. I was very encouraged on that topic, by the way, as we're often sometimes warned that more conservative elements in our communities are not necessarily fans of renewable power. I met one of my town's more stalwart conservative individuals, somebody that I've had the good fortune to work with on a fire department and a few other things. The other day, I bumped into him at the store, and he was saying, we got into a conversation. I was ready for him to hit me with, why are you spending your time on that, Paul? There are other important things to do in town. He went on at great length to tell me that solar was a no-brainer. Putting solar on roofs or out in the community was a no-brainer, and why don't we kickstart that and move that forward? And that's why it's really exciting that we're here with our friends from SunCommon today, with a promise that any individual, any household, any small business in our community can take advantage of the solar possibility of bringing that solar potential to their livelihoods, to their families. And it's genuinely a doable, exciting opportunity, and that's why we're really key to welcome you guys to our part of the world. We look to not only Sharon but all of our surrounding communities to be very much a part of this, so that we can really be capturing and using that solar income not only for those current energy needs but also for bending the curve and changing our planetary impact. So thank you all. Glad you're here.
Thank you, Paul. Next, I'd like to introduce Emma Xuan. She's the director of the Randolph Chamber of Commerce. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome SunCommon to the White River Valley region today. At the Chamber, we are always pleased to welcome a new business to the community. After all, for us, business is good. Business creates jobs, in this case, installers, organizers, and advisors. New business creates a better economy for us all. Through new jobs, the new jobs provide income, which can be spent at other local merchants. And additionally, it enhances the livability of the community through employment, expendable income, and the pride in bringing value to the community. But I'm particularly Sorry. I'm particularly glad to welcome SunCommon today because of what they do. With a mission to tear down the barriers that make renewable energy inaccessible, SunCommon's aims are truly admirable. And with a corporate structure that requires them to consider people, profit, and planet, their mission is commendable. Having more solar installations in the region adds value to the White River Valley neighborhoods. Allowing all homes to add solar power to their property at a cost equivalent to their electric bill will improve property values and lighten a family's financial burden over time. Anything that we can do to save people a little today and a lot tomorrow is a good thing in my estimation. In 2008, the legislature passed an enhancement to the Vermont Employment Growth Incentive Program to emphasize the policy goal of creating green economy jobs. Back then, it took a policy to put green jobs on the map. But today, if you Google green jobs in Vermont, there are entire websites devoted to them. The policy direction was not just refreshing, but was wholly embraced by Vermonters and entrepreneurs. And SunCommon's success is representative of that green job growth in Vermont, because we like what they have to offer: clean, reliable, and renewable energy. I'm very happy to welcome SunCommon today to the region, to the Chamber, as a company, as an exemplary business model, and as a provider of local solar power. Thank you.
Thanks, Emma. And now I'd like to introduce Carl Chemnitzer. He's the head of the Heartland Energy Committee.
Four years ago, I started a project called Solar Heartland, which was about community education about solar. And the goal was for bulk purchase of solar arrays. It was connected with my local transition town group and my town energy committee. And we went up to talk to James Moore at VPIRG for guidance. I've since watched VPIRG's effort develop into SunCommon and have been waiting for them to expand their homeowner program into the Upper Valley area. Many homeowners that I've talked with over the past few years have not been able to purchase solar because of the upfront cost. The rapidly growing solar market has addressed this concern in larger scale commercial arrays, but better financing in the residential market has been slow to arrive. I'm glad now that when I'm talking to homeowners, I'm able to include a company that has socially responsible financial arrangements that many more homeowners will find accessible. I'm also looking beyond the standard residential installations and hoping that we will be able to work towards community solar to extend the financial and environmental benefits of solar to renters and homes that are shaded in my town. The U.S. Energy Information Agency reports that solar directly provides only 0.4% of an average home's total energy, and of the 44% provided by electricity, renewable energy from all sources except for hydro provides only 6%. We have a long ways to go, and I'm glad to see this getting started. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Carl. And finally, I'd like to introduce Al Wilder, I think our first solar homeowner in the Upper Valley. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Glad to see a nice sunny crowd here today. This implementation of solar at my residence has ended a 5-year solar search that I've had. I've been to conferences at Lake Fairley. I've looked at other people's systems. I've studied the payback, especially when you have a $6,000 a year oil bill and a $1,500 a year electric bill. It's time to do something. And I was very glad I found SunCommon. I'd like to tell you a little story about how I found SunCommon. I'm a great hockey fan, and I was at Norwich University, my university, and at that particular time I was fundraising for the hockey team and selling chances on a quilt. And next to me, this little girl came in and she was looking for a table. I said, well, you can use the end of my table if you'd like. And I said, what are you doing? She says, well, I'm from SunCommon. I'm going to pass out some information to the people here at the hockey match. And I thought to myself, I don't know. I said, well, give me that thing and let me read it. And so I did. And I got quite interested in SunCommon and information that they passed on, and they did quite well at Norwich University. So I checked into it, and I checked into their track record, which was outstanding. They don't rush into things. And right after my solar was installed, the summer solstice came up, and I hit their pig roast that they have at their place in Waterbury Center. It was absolutely fantastic. And the best thing about SunCommon I found was the fact that they've got smart, young, and I mean young people doing the job. Probably the oldest person is the owner, Dwayne. And he and I both have bald spots on our heads. So, but the people that are working there are super. They'll stay with you till the job is done. And that's the good part. The next thing for me, of course, since I got my first bill last Friday for 2 months, was over $400 in credit towards me. I don't want the money. I want to use that energy to get the reduction into my oil furnace bill, and I need that. So that's my next project, and SunCommon has just sort of launched into heat pumps and that type of thing. For you elder statesmen like myself that think that because you're of age that probably through financing and so forth of your installation, don't worry about it. It's almost like, you know, buying a second-hand car, the payment that you have left up, because all the upfront stuff is taken care of. The state of Vermont even came across with $2,500 for me. So there's lots of things out there, and they know the system, and they know how to work it, and they get you in the door. It's no embarrassing going knocking on a credit union that you don't know anything about. They welcome you, and they get you established there, and then they follow through with you. As I said, my first electric bill was credited $401.20. And that gave me a great smile. Go solar. Go SunCommon.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for coming. I'd like to